It's Michael from GY6 Store. We're looking forward to actually installing our alarm system here. I just got heads up from APM to how to actually configure the wire, so it's got a good idea head start here. I don't know why they give you two listings yet. They have one for battery ignition type and one for non-battery ignition type, but it doesn't seem so sophisticated. I think most of the harness, again, other than I believe it's the battery terminal, we could probably find right here in this harness area right here, our D2 area. Right there, this one here that goes into the gauge cluster, just this one right here. And then also maybe something from their ignition right here as well, the 4-prong wire. So we'll figure that out, but soon as we troubleshoot pretty much why our pin here actually hasn't passed the full, because when it does start, it does hit that little marker. I think that little lock pin right there, you can see. That gauge cluster right there, when we probably put it back in, we didn't check to make sure it actually is above the pin mark. You can see the pin mark right there. That kind of holds it down. So I'm going to start again and we'll find out. And then we'll take it off so you can see what I'm talking about more. Okay, here we go. Turn on the fuel. Kill switch is on. Hold the brake lever. Little pop noise always when it first starts. Do it again. Kill switch. See how the pin moves right there? Now I'm going to hit the kill switch. That way you can see how the pin drops. Oh, well, I have to turn off the key actually. Turn off the key. There we go. No power to the gauge. It drops. So we got to move that pin back up here. It should be a simple fix. We could probably get that taken care of. So let me go ahead and take this off again. Remove our D1 connector, or D2 that I labeled myself here. Okay, there we go. Move this guy. You can see here the connection here, there's only, I believe there's shy of 2, so it's normally a 9 pin and it's shy of 2, so it's about a 7 pin here, and versus again there's about 7 pin here as well. So these wires here should be where all the signal left and right perhaps, and then also we can find our positive. I'm assuming it's for sure is that black wire, and then our negative ground wire is that green wire right there. It's going to be the black wire that we're going to tap into for negative, and then our red wire for positive coming from the harness will probably be here. Again, that's relating to, they give you a little harness here for the alarm, you know, we can tap into, or if you had one, I did try to plug this in directly. You can notice here, this has a little bit more wires than that wire harness. It has a total of 8. So, and it's also the positive power is relocated differently. We're gonna assume that the red one is positive, which is probably the correct color code, and then the black one is negative. So we were just gonna show you an example here. It comes with a little speaker too, 2 remotes, and it comes with, if you don't have your own harness, you can go attach that and splice it into your own. See here a bunch of splice wires here, but I just want to show you this one, see how it will lined up. So let's assuming that the black one and the green one, the black one here on this side, I'm pointing to this one right here, see the black one right here, that will probably be normally your positive, and then the back one over here, the solid green wire, will be your negative ground. So if you look at this harness here, see how the red and black, they're not wired opposite side from each other, so that they're not even close to being onset. I believe the closest one to the black wire goes to the black wire here, but I'm assuming this is actually probably positive. So we'll deal with that once we go ahead and just get our gauge cluster back off and reset this pin back up here. We might have to twirl it this way or even just jump it over. I tried to take a magnet and see if it actually will pick up, but it's not, as plastic. So it's not gonna let me just jump it with a little plastic thing here. I was hoping that would probably be the most simplest fix. You can see here, I was trying to see if I can actually pick it up with a magnet, you know, like this, and move it over, but no, I gotta take it all apart, which is fine. Okay, so we got that in there. We don't have to remove this side because we're not messing with RPM cluster anymore. It's working just fine, and we just gotta remove that cable now. Let's see if I can show you. Back to where we were again. A little up close there. There we go. Okay, gotta get my finger in there. Perfect, there you go. You can see all the grease mark. All right, so this is ready to be taken back again for examination. So let's go ahead and make some room here. Here are Phillips. Okay, I'll have the big Phillips here. It's fine. All right, I haven't siliconed anything yet. The reason why is I'm waiting for that to be last so I can make sure everything's stationed first, everything's working order, and then we can give this a little silicone in this area right here to seal it. Let's go ahead and do this. Actually, you know what? By me moving it this way, it might actually already come loose. Let's see. See, it was a... No, it's not, unfortunately. Wish it was that easy, huh? It's not that hard. We only got 2 more screws to go, and the 2 side screws, and we're open sesame right there. It's always nice to learn a shorter cut sometimes. Okay, 1 more to go here. Don't want to put too much pressure on them. Don't want to put too much pressure on the wires either. So just kind of support it. There we go. Perfect. Now we can take out the 2 Phillips here from each side, and that should pop off our case. Okay. All right, there we go. We're gonna go ahead and see the pin mechanism in a little bit now. Let's see what's going on. Can lift the whole glass with it. All right, so here we go. All right, little guy. We're gonna be really careful with him. Let's see if I can. That. So he's supposed to go over. I'm not sure this pushes in. No, it doesn't push in, but I think it might flex. No, it doesn't even flex either. I don't want to yank it out either, so I'm gonna try to go over him because I can't put it this way. Or maybe I can. Maybe that is the way you reset it. So now that the pin's falling this way, yeah, that might be it. So we just kind of twirled it over. So that's probably it. It's probably that sensitive. So hopefully, I think when we played around with it, when we went like this, we left it like that, and then the spring can only go a certain mechanism way. But now that we brought it here, you can see here how it pulls back. So that's perfect. All right, so we'll make sure we'll leave it like that and make sure no other pins. This one doesn't have to worry about. This one don't have to worry about. You just have to make sure the battery and these ones are pretty much set back to their middle one like that. Okay, so that was easy. All right, so we're gonna go and put that one back in. Yeah, I was hearing something click, 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 right? And I didn't realize what it was doing was, since it was so below, when you start the engine or start the key, it would pop, pop. It kept on touching that bar there. So that was really interesting. Thought something was breaking. Okay, so we're gonna go and put our Phillips screws here. We'll secure it now. Now that we have this off, we'll keep this off because we want to go ahead and start installing our alarm. So we don't need the gauge or anything like that because our alarm will work independently. Here we go. All right, so we'll get started on the alarm next. Awesome. So there we go. We'll just make sure when we do station it, these pins are still in the same place. All right, let's go and get started on the alarm. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually try to use this harness here, and we're going to tap the appropriate wires that came with it. So it also comes with a fuse. It comes with a little beeping noise there. It's siren, you know, certain dB siren, and it shows you on the schematic what they are. Let me put this aside safely here. Put the gauge cluster prepared to put back in when we're ready. Okay, so now we're going to focus on this alarm here. Okay, so we see the wires here. It's not that intimidating when you break it down. Then, you know, you're almost really connected there. Okay, so here we go. It tells you right here, color code, where they are. So we got our black wire, which is pretty much our ground or negative. See that one coming? So that's black. This is right there. See if I can actually stretch this out of here. Be easier. Keep this intact. That way I don't have a bunch of wires running around. Okay. Okay, so these are all the wires that come with that we could tap into. These ones are your it's pretty much, they come in series. It turns all your left side signal, front and rear, and this one turns your right signal, front and rear. They're both yellow color. You can see there. So that's given right there. This blue wire is your ignition startup wire, so it might go somewhere along the line. When you push your start button, it should trigger it. So that would go right there for remote start. Okay, and then the gray wire here, let's see. The gray wire is going to be a little tricky one. That's like your kill switch one. That one right there, I'm going to try to figure out a little bit more. But you can see right there, it says gray. It says to CDI kill switch, which is probably more than likely for an AC, but we'll see. Okay, and then we have, what's next? Almost. Okay. And of course you have your positive, assuming this is red for positive battery. And you gotta get power to it, constant power, even when the engine's not on, because it needs to monitor your scooter for vibration. And so this is the positive battery, and this is your negative. So that's in the schematic too. You can see right there. And we can probably get that again from the area of the key right here, or to the battery. You can see there it runs. The red wire runs to the positive of the battery, and then the ground wire is pretty much our black wire there, which we can also ground it on the scooter frame. So this right here, we can either run it to the negative of the battery or ground it to the scooter frame, or tap it to the harness that has the negative, which I'm assuming that on our scooter harness, this will probably be green, and this will probably be black. It's kind of reverse, yeah. So this one will run to the green wire, which is going to be a negative ground, and this red positive wire from the alarm harness will run to the black wire of our scooter wire, because that's actually our positive ground. And then this one here, you got your pink and orange. Let's see what that one's going to be all about. Pink and orange, there it goes. See the pink and orange one. So these are all going to some sort of our ignition switch. So those little four wires that are coming out, the 4 prongs. So what we're going to do is we're going to splice the tip, and since we don't have since we can't just plug into this harness because it's configured a little differently, as you remember I told you earlier, on the harness itself it has only about 7 active pins in female and male, and this is actually a total of 8 active pins, and they're also, the wiring of the positive and the negative are crisscross, or they're not in the right place, so this harness won't do us any good. So we're gonna have to manipulate it. You can use this to plug in this harness that came with it, and then we're just gonna manipulate it from the actual wires here. So we're gonna actually put this into this port. The alarm key is right there. This is how it looks like. This is your remote start, which is keyless driving, I was told. You can see here a blue light, sorry. Probably can't see it. See that? And then you have your unlock, your lock. I think you have to actually unlock your scooter first, and then you can push the start button. And you probably have to hold it. It's timing. This is just to trigger the alarm and let it siren off. And this is to arm your scooter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to spice these wires ahead of time. That way we can actually jab them into, like we did our probe testing. So we're just going to jab them into the slots that we think are probably going to maybe get to, you know, at least get power to this device first. You know what I mean? That's one thing. So let me go and use the spicer tool. Go. Now, if you watch APM's video, he's got a great tool to actually just spice it very easily. Just goes from the front and pushes it, and it tugs enough wire there. But since we don't have those, we're gonna have to do what we got. This one's already spiced, the black one's already spiced, so I mean spice enough. I don't want to spice it too long right now because we're not sure where we're gonna move it yet, and I don't want a whole bunch of wires to get crunched up. Looks kind of messy, so I'm just gonna go like maybe almost a millimeter, if anything. Okay. Now again, this one's gonna be a tricky one, the gray and pink one. These ones are just our signal lights here. It runs in series, I guess, the signal lights for the rear left turn signal. It runs in series, meaning it runs in series from the front and rear. They're probably joined it. That's why they only give 2 wires for each set. One for the left set signal, turn signal, that activates the front and front and rear, and then one for the right signal, you know, which probably doesn't really matter because the alarm's going to actually supposed to trigger both lights. They're always flashing, flickering around, getting attention. And then we have also our ground wire here. So this ground wire here, oh, actually, I apologize. This is actually our antenna. What the antenna does, it's going to sense vibration. That's all it is. So I mistakenly cut a little bit of it off, thinking it was a negative ground wire, right? Because I was about to actually probe it in a lead, but actually it's supposed to be your antenna. It's just a coil wire that it picks up on. You're supposed to wire it straight, just like it shows here in the schematic. So just kind of wire it like straight like that. Okay, so let's do this. Now we got our wires kind of loosely out now, and we're gonna actually just kind of probe it in there. So, and we have already the probing area part, sort of. So let's gonna see if we can actually do this and get it probed. Give me 1 second here. All right. Okay, so here we go. See, these are the wires here. We're trying to distinguish which one is which, and go ahead and start probing them. Well, we already know that the black wires are normally positive, so we're going to put our red lead in here. Okay, we're just going to jab it in there. There we go. Now this has some weight on it, so you might want to pick this up and put it somewhere so it doesn't drag everything off. And it also has, eventually you can tie strap or however you want to do it. But this is going to be a little bit trickier. I need to actually clamp this on something or somewhere where it'll stay for us. Let me see if I can get it through here. Just to hold in place. Okay, there we go. And we can work with his wire harness. Okay, I need you to stay put. Kind of jab it in there for a second. Okay, so oh, I didn't cut the orange wire yet. Let me go and get the orange wire cut. I just pretty much these wires use a second one. Seems like they're all doing that. Okay. Did I even cut the pink one? Yeah. Or am I in the wrong harness again? Okay. Got a few wires here missed. More than expected. Okay, so we're going back to our schematic, and let's check this one out. So let's go and first start. We got the red wire. Let's connect our ground and our yeah. Let's do that. Let's connect our ground. The antenna is fine. We'll route it up like this or something. Just take it straight up like this. That's what. Let me get away from all the wires. Maybe I'll have a nicer route. Yeah, it looks intimidating, but eventually we'll figure out which wire's pulsating. Okay. There we go. Just route it up there. Now, okay, so we have the black wire, and that's gonna be our positive we're going for. Let's bring our power to this device first. Okay, so we're going to go and use our ground first. Our ground is our negative wire here, and I believe that's the green wire there you see, or you can. I'm looking for up top, sorry, so you probably can't see. So let me go ahead and try hang this phone up, that way you can see it. Put it in a way where it's kind of, there you go, I could probably put it on top like this. That way you can see from downward. Okay, it's gonna get messy. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, if you notice here, I'm gonna peel this back. Peel this rubber boot back. Alright. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I see the green wire here. I'm not doing anything with this wire right now. Oh, but you know what? There's yellow wire here. I'm thinking these yellow wires might be the same wire for our signal, our light signal. So yeah, we might actually have to crisscross and tap the yellow wire here. So I'm assuming by color, okay? So don't get me wrong, but the way you can test it out, I'll show you also. But let me go ahead and probe this black one to the green for the ground. Okay, there we go. It's in there. Probe this red one to the power here. And once you actually figure out which wire is what, you want to take a snapshot of it, because then you're going to have to do a clean install on it. Okay, so the red wire goes to the black wire of the harness.